So is there anything else like you'd like to add about your couchsurfing experiences or traveling or road trips?
I guess like I have like tips actually for couch surfers because I've learned a little bit. Well, one thing is when you get to a city and like your host is busy, like it's definitely a good idea to join the couch surfing group for that city and then just sending out a message like, hey, couch surfer, like just trying to like do stuff. It's just fun to like hang out with people. Like Drew last night joined us for dinner. It was just nice. We've actually had every evening we've gone out to eat with couch surfers. It's just been a lot of fun. So one thing, so send out a message on the board to find out what's going on. Another thing that's useful is I keep hearing about couch surfers that are just like basically getting like overtaxed as far as like people wanting to couch surf with them. They definitely enjoy it, but at the same time it's like it's good to have like fresh, different people involved with it because sometimes like we met these people in Atlanta and they were like they'll just like host people week after week for like 2 months straight, which is crazy. And the other couch surfers in Atlanta want to host people too, So and then so there's that perspective. There's also this other idea where it's difficult to actually find a host. Like sometimes you'll find cities where it's actually difficult to couch surf.
That was the problem for us here.
Was it? Oh, okay, yeah. Because actually, it's funny. This is the easiest place that we found. Connor said, yeah, hey man, just you're more than welcome to stay here. And he was the second person I contacted. But so I've run into a lot of problems in the past. Although I've never had a bad experience. Like I've never not been able to find a place. Just if like, but I've spent like for a single city, I've spent like an hour and a half writing out couch surfing messages. I've sent out like 30, 35 messages before. So if you keep pursuing it, but what I'm trying to get at is like, so some of these places like definitely get hit hard. So a good way of finding a host is there's a feature when you're searching for couches that lets you search for like most recently made accounts, and there's two benefits of that. Like one is they're definitely more willing to host you because of the fact they don't have many references. I think that's also part of the reason I contacted Connor because he only had like 12 references, which is like decent, but not that many, not compared to like 200. And the other reason is because they're more excited to show you around. The people, I've had a lot of benefits with that because the people that I've stayed with, I know wouldn't do as much as they did for me, if like later on, hosting other surfers, because like they've literally taken me around places, their favorite places. So that's definitely something that couch surfers should do, is check out like most recently created profiles. So there's two reasons.
So in your travels, you just talk about some of the different cool places you've been. What's cool about those places? Like, what would you recommend? What places you recommend for people to surf? And what would you recommend to do there? Yeah.
Well, for America, I've done less couch surfing. It's really just been this trip. So I don't know. Like we couch surfed in Louisville, Nashville, and Atlanta. Honestly not. I mean, for Atlanta, like there's a cool restaurant we went to called Vortex. Like, we had like a ridiculous burger that Matt and I had to share. It was something like 3,000 calories in this one burger. It's like it's 2 half-pound burgers sandwiched between grilled cheeses. Yeah, well, imagine that. Yeah, grilled cheeses are the buns.
Not cheese toasties, Fort Wayne people. They're called grilled cheeses. Grilled okay, cheeses. Derek and Clint.
Yeah.
You heard it here. So let's talk a little bit about Europe. Like you said, you couch surf there more. What's cool or what's different about going over there and couch surfing?
That's a good question. So like one place that I stayed at, which is kind of interesting. Well, we were talking about this house like being like almost like a squatted house, right? So they actually have squatting laws in Europe, or a lot of countries in Europe. So like if there's an abandoned house, in the sense that like the owners are trying to sell it, but they haven't been able to sell it, legally people are allowed to just move in and use the space as long as they keep maintain it. So they actually have this was in Amsterdam. They have a squatting apartment finding service. So they have all these squatted apartments, apartments that can be squatted, and they work as almost like a real estate agent. So they charge a little bit, so they make a cut off of it, and like these people are staying there for like a ridiculously cheap price. So this guy was telling me like he's staying in this place that was it's 200 euros a month, which comes out to be about 300 US a month, which immediately is dirt cheap. It's like in a really good place in Amsterdam, and that comes with all utilities. There's like a ridiculous deal. So that was kind of a cool thing, like for place that I stayed at for couch surfing. And there's a place in Geneva that I said before, which is really cool. Like this one, like he said it was about $1.5 million apartment. I was staying with the ambassador for Pakistan, which is insane. As far as other places that I've stayed, I'm not as like crazy, I guess. Like, I mean, definitely nice apartments, cool places that I stayed. Budapest was cool. Vienna was really cool. The apartments that I stayed in. But, yeah.
So do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really.
Okay.
I already talked your ear off.
Just go ahead and tell everyone just what do you think about like this couch surfing experience, what you think about like Drew and I and like what we're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's a good idea. It's funny because I've talked about this with people before. We're surprised that there is no like actual documentary that has been created. I don't know at what level you guys are making this. I guess it's like a road trip like internet kind of documentary, which is cool. I've never even heard of that before, which is good. You know, it definitely needs more coverage because I feel like there's a lot of good people out there that aren't involved with couch surfing and certainly could get a lot from it. So yeah, I could applause and you guys are both good guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's all for now. But hey, thanks for helping us out with this, and thanks for hanging out with us last night. That was fun as hell.
Yeah, we had a good time.
We'll stay in touch.
Yep. All right.